Hello my lovely and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you 10 spreads that you can use in your bullet journal for your personal development journey. If you're ready, let's get started. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I am an avid bullet journal lover. I use it for a lot of different things. But what I wanted to talk about specifically is using your bullet journal for your personal development. It is a great tool that combines mindfulness and productivity combined together, and even some creativity, which is something that I love as well. Now, when it comes to your bullet journal and your personal development, it is a great tool that will cultivate more mindfulness and more awareness around your personal development. It's a tool that will help you be more proactive and take more charge and be more aware and, like I said, proactive when it comes to your personal development journey, because your life and every single day is an opportunity to work on yourself to improve. And when you write things down, when you use something like a journal, it anchors the emotions, it anchors the goals, it anchors a lot of the different aspects of your personal development journey, and it helps you stay more organized and more focused and more mindful with your development, your personal development journey. So that is why it's a great tool that I would really encourage you to use. And keep in mind that your journal can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. What I would suggest is to keep it as simple as you can from the beginning, and to develop your style and to develop your own approach to your personal development and your use of your journal as you go. But if it's a habit that you want to pick up, then keep it simple, and with time you can develop it and create and evolve and change it and adapt it to your lifestyle, to your needs, and to what you want to use it for. But in this video, I wanted to give you ideas of how you can use a journal or a bullet journal for your personal development journey. And I wanted to share 10 spreads that I use consistently and that have helped me in the last few years. And I hope that you can take advantage and get inspired and at least pick up one of the spreads that I will show you in this video, because like I said, I love my bullet journal and it is a great tool that has helped me a lot. So the first spread that I use every single day is an emotions tracker, and it's exactly as it is. It is a tracker that helps me remember the emotions that I want to experience on a daily basis. So we're talking about things for me personally. I want to experience happiness and joy. I want to be more mindful about how I'm feeling. I want to be more present in the moment. So I have a tracker with all of these emotions, and every single day, at the end of the day, I sit down and I reflect, did I experience those emotions, yes or no? So not only does it help me reflect on my day and how I was feeling so I can process whatever is happening, but it also serves as a reminder for the next day of the emotions that I'm trying to cultivate. Because when you write things down, you're more likely to do it, and it helps anchor and remind you of the emotions you're trying to experience on a regular basis. Because if you want to cultivate a happier and more meaningful life, then logically there are emotions that you have to cultivate within yourself. Some things are not a given. Some days are harder than others, but if you consciously choose that I want to be happy no matter what, and if you remind yourself with emotions tracker, then you are more likely to experience more joy in your life, because you are constantly reminded that no matter what, I have committed to myself to experience more joy every single day. And ultimately that will help you in your personal development journey, because if you're trying to cultivate more happiness in your life, for example, if you're trying to create a certain type of life and emotion and experience, and if you remind yourself on a daily basis, then it is more likely to happen, because you're anchoring it in a journal, and you have the constant reminder of what you're trying to cultivate within yourself. So emotions tracker is a great tool to help you remember the emotions that you're trying to experience on a daily basis. The second spread that helps me in my personal development journey that I use in my bullet journal is a habit tracker. Your habits are the foundation of your life. The quality of your habits will determine the quality of your life. If you have healthy habits, you will feel stronger, healthier, more confident. It is logic. But it does take a bit of time and effort to cultivate and to create a new habit in your life. And having the constant reminder in your journal will help you remember, like the emotions that you're trying to cultivate, the habits you're trying to cultivate is the exact same thing. You need the constant reminder. And if you take the time every single day to reflect on how you did that day, it will serve you as a reflection of how did I do today, and if you can adjust your approach. And it will be a reminder for the following day if you can practice that habit a little bit more. And we're talking about basic habits like drinking more water, exercising, getting up and stretching every single hour if you're working from home. It's small things like that, but you have to be very specific about the habits you're trying to cultivate that will help you feel better from the inside out and from the outside in. So it's about taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, and taking care of your soul, and being very mindful about what habits you need to cultivate to feel better and feel stronger and feel more like yourself. And if you have the constant reminder in your journal for your personal development journey of the habits you're trying to cultivate, they are more likely to happen. And once they become second nature, then you can move on and start cultivating more and more positive and healthier habits. So the second spread that I want you to consider putting in your journal is a habits tracker. The third bullet journal spread that I use for my personal development is an obvious one, but I'm still gonna mention it, is my yearly goals. I do have a whole process where I set my inspired goals, which are goals that are more meaningful and more purposeful. And if you want me to walk you through how to set your inspired goals, I do have a free workshop that you can sign up to, and I will leave the link in the description box below. But basically, inspired goals are goals that are a lot more meaningful and purposeful. It's about who you want to be and the life that you want to live. It's not about what you want specifically. If you want to learn more about the inspired goals, check out the workshop. I walk you through it, and there's a free worksheet that comes with it. But one of the bullet journal spreads that I use is where I write down my yearly goals, which is something that I try to review every single week, if not every second week, because the more you remind yourself of the global image, the global view, and the long-term view of the life you're trying to create and the person you're trying to be, your subconscious and conscious mind will always be directed towards that. You will subconsciously start choosing things differently. Your behaviors will be different. The habits you try to cultivate will become a lot more different. So when you write things down, it anchors it in a very different way. And if you constantly review your goals, then you're more likely to achieve them because you're constantly reminded of them, and then you can adjust your daily and weekly choices and behaviors. And even I'm talking about choices of your thoughts, about how you choose to focus on things and be more positive. So the more you focus on those things, the more likely they are to happen. So your yearly goals are an important part of your personal development because it includes who you want to be and the life you're trying to create. And when we're talking about your personal development journey, then you always have to be reminded of it. That way you can achieve it. And you can, like I said, adjust yourself and adjust your behavior and your thoughts towards your goals and what you're trying to achieve and who you want to be. So that is the third spread that I use in my bullet journal for my personal development journey. So spread number 4 is very closely linked to spread number 3, but it's a bit different, so I did want to mention it. But spread number 4 for my personal development is my monthly goals. So what I do is that I have a process where I set goals for the year, and then every single month I sit down, look at my yearly goals, and then figure out, okay, this month I'm going to focus specifically on these few goals. This helps me be more systematic when it comes to my goals. It helps me become more systematic when it comes to my personal development, and it also helps me stay on top of my yearly goals. That way I can make sure to achieve them by the end of the year. And it's a great way, again, to remind myself of the ultimate goal and dream life that I'm trying to create, but it helps me break it down into more manageable steps, because sometimes it can be overwhelming looking at the big picture, looking at the long-term picture. But if I have an idea of the long-term picture and then break it down into monthly goals, it becomes a lot more manageable, a lot more sustainable. So I want to give you a more specific example. This is very, very particular, like it's very specific, but I still want to mention to give you an idea. So my yearly goal, and I'm going to be very simple, it's a lot more elaborate, but my yearly goal is to, or one of my life goals to be honest, is to be happier and to enjoy life a lot more. And for me, I know myself enough to know what that looks like specifically. So one of the things that I like to do every single month is to try new recipes. I like to bake and to cook new recipes. So ultimate vision, enjoy life a lot more and feel happier. And I know for me, one of the things that makes me happy is to bake and to cook. So every single month I have a goal to try to bake 2 new recipes and to try and cook 2 new recipes. So that's a simple, concrete monthly goal that I have for myself, and I can write it down in my bullet journal to write down as a reminder for myself in the future when I look back, what new recipe did I try? What did I enjoy doing? And it's a great reminder of the little things that you can be doing consistently to be more mindful and to create a more meaningful and inspired and purposeful life, because at the end of the day, it is about the small little daily things that you do that will ultimately help you feel better and create a happier and more joyful life. The fifth spread that I would really encourage you to start right now if you don't already have it is to have a gratitude journal. If you're trying to grow, if you're trying to become the best version of yourself, if you're trying to create your dream life, then you have to create a more positive mindset. You have to create more positive thoughts and emotions within you. You have to cultivate more happiness, and that will ultimately give you more physical and emotional energy to be able to focus on your goals and to be able to work on yourself and improve. So it's like a positive cycle that you're trying to create, and the foundation of all of that is gratitude. Why? Because when you take the time to reflect on the things that you already do have, you create a more positive mindset of abundance. You focus on the things that make you happy, and you focus on the things that you already have instead of having a mindset of lack, instead of focusing on the things that are missing. So having a gratitude journal spread really helps in anchoring the little things in life that we might take for granted and to be grateful for them, because not only does it anchor them again, it makes you more aware of them, but in the long term, it helps you expand your happiness. It helps you expand your gratitude for everything that you already do have, and it helps you focus on what you already have instead of the lack. So I would encourage you to have a gratitude practice to begin with, and a great way to do that is to have it in writing in your journal. Very simple. What are you grateful for and why? Why is that thing making you grateful? And it's sometimes the smallest little things, and it helps on days where you feel down to go back to your gratitude journal and to reflect and to read over the things that you are grateful for as a little reminder and as a little pick-me-up of the moments where you felt a bit happier. But if you're going to start journaling, or if you're going to do one thing today or take away one thing from this video, I really hope that it's a practice of gratitude, because it really, really does help in cultivating more happiness and more mindfulness around your life, and cultivating more meaning and purpose, and focusing on the good, because there's always good in life. So we're talking about happiness, so I'm going to jump right into spread number 6, which is having a spread around happiness. So this is something that I did a while ago because I was struggling to understand what does happiness mean for me and what does it look like in real life. So what I wanted to do is to be more mindful and conscious of the things that make me happy, and what I did was to start writing them down, and it's like a continuous spread that I have that I keep adding on to it, because I wanted to reflect within myself to understand what does happiness mean to me and what does that look like concretely in practical terms. And when I had moments where I felt happy, I would write down what made me happy, and often it went back to things like spending time with loved ones, being more mindful, or learning something new, for example. So when I had this ongoing reflection of what makes me happy, it helped me understand what happiness means to me and what that looks like. And when I had a better understanding of it, then it was a lot easier to do it more often. If I know that what makes me happy, for example, is creativity, or it's about spending time in nature, or it's learning something new, or it's challenging myself, then it becomes a lot easier on a day-to-day basis to do the things that challenge me, or to do things that are creative, or to go outside and spend time in nature. When you have an understanding of what happiness means to you, it's a lot easier to do it. And how does that relate to personal development? It's the same thing. It's the same common thread, right? It's when you have an understanding of what the foundation of your dream life looks like and the person that you're trying to be. So when we're talking about gratitude, when we're talking about happiness and what those things mean to you, then you are giving yourself back the positive energy. You are cultivating a lot more positive energy within yourself, and then you can give back to yourself and to the world around you and towards your goals. It's about creating a positive cycle in your life, and it's about doing all these intentional and meaningful habits like journaling, like your gratitude journal, like reflecting on happiness and doing all of those things that make you happy. It's about doing these things on a regular, daily basis. It's about the intentional habits that you cultivate to create a happier and more purposeful life. And one of the things that, like I said, that helped me is to reflect and really take the time to see and understand what does happiness means. And that's something that I write down in my journal to remind myself on days that I don't feel as good, and to go back to it so I can do the things that make me happy. Spread number 7, if you want to work on yourself and become the best version of yourself, is having a running list of things that you love about yourself. Now, as someone that did struggle a little bit with, well, I still do actually, if I'm honest, that's someone that struggles with confidence and truly loving and appreciating yourself, it's really nice to have a list that you can go back to, especially on moments where you don't feel as confident or you don't feel as good. But again, it's always about anchoring, because when you write things down, it helps you remind yourself and process it and anchor it within yourself a lot differently. So I do have a running list of things that I love about myself and appreciate about myself, because it's a good reminder to just reflect and appreciate who you are inherently. And also this helps with your personal development, because when you appreciate your strengths and your capacities, it's a lot easier to embrace and accept your flaws and your weaknesses, to then be able to just work on them. So this is a wonderful spread for your personal development to ultimately work on yourself and become the best version of you while still appreciating who you are inherently. Spread number 8 for your personal development is to have a running list of self-care ideas. If you're trying to achieve goals, if you're trying to constantly work on yourself, then that also means that you have to take care of yourself emotionally and physically. And if you struggle with self-care, if you struggle with putting yourself first, and sometimes you maybe don't understand how you need to take care of yourself, it's great to have a running list to refer back to, and also having a running list to better understand who you are and what helps you on a consistent basis. That way, on moments where you're feeling low, sad, tired, whatever, you can refer back to your self-care list to see what can you do in that moment to take better care of yourself. Because the more that you take care of yourself, the more energy you'll have to put back into yourself, into your life, into the people around you, and into your goals. So taking care of yourself is important for your personal development journey, because it does take work, it does take physical and emotional energy to constantly work on yourself, and you have to take care of yourself from the inside out to be able to be the best version of you and to ultimately achieve your goals and to create your dream life. So take care of yourself and have a self-care list, because yeah, it's a fun way to just take care of yourself. For your personal development journey is to have an affirmations list or inspiring quotes that you can go back to. Affirmations are positive sentences or positive quotes or something that just inspires you and that really resonates with you. And it's nice to write it down. I like to do it in a creative way, because like I said before, I like channeling my creativity. It does make me feel good, but if you just write it out, that's also okay. Again, it goes back to anchoring. When you write things down, it's a lot easier to remember and to just anchor it in your mind and your heart to remember it at a future point. But when you have like a page with inspiring quotes, then on times where you don't feel as good, or in times that you want to inspire yourself or to motivate yourself, then you can refer back to it. And if these are the quotes that have resonated with you, then they will resonate with you again at a different time. And it's nice to have a little space where you can put the things that make you feel positive, inspired, and motivated. And I like having it written down somewhere, because it's also interesting to look back, something that might have inspired me 3-4 years ago, to look back to it and to remember it and to remember why it inspired me in that moment. So that's a really simple but great way that you can help yourself in your personal development journey, because you always want to cultivate more positivity and more inspiration, and that's a really simple way to do it, to remind yourself of the positive quotes that have inspired you or motivated you in the past. The last bullet journal spread that helps in your personal development journey is to do a brain dump, which is something I've talked about in a previous video, but I will mention it here quickly. It is just a way for you to release all the thoughts and emotions that you might need. There's no process to it. It's just literally you sitting down and just writing out whatever you're feeling or whatever is going on. And it's a great tool for your personal development, because the more time you take to reflect and to process whatever is going on, the more energy you'll have to give back to yourself. And brain dump is a great way to do that, especially if you're going through something. It allows you to put it down on paper, release it from your mind and your heart, take a step back, process it, release it, and have more positive energy for yourself to give back, to work on yourself, and to work on your goals to achieve your dream life, because that's what it is, right? You always want to have the time to reflect and to release. That way we have more energy for ourselves and more energy to put towards the things that matter, like our goals, like working on ourselves, and like doing things like feeling happier and enjoying life a lot better. So those are the 10 bullet journal spreads that I use for my personal development. I hope that inspired you to use at least one of the bullet journal spreads, and make sure to tag me on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever social media that you use, for me to be able to see your bullet journal spreads, because I always love to draw inspiration from other people as well to see how they use their creativity in creating a beautiful spread. I will leave my Instagram handle because I do post some of my bullet journal spreads there if you want some more inspiration. I will also leave all the journaling videos that I have made in the past to help you start your journaling, whether you're talking about bullet journaling or journaling in general. If you want to start journaling, it is a great tool for so many different reasons, and I hope that you will consider picking up this new habit, because if you're trying to become the better version of yourself, then you have to take charge of your life and you have to cultivate the habits that will help you do that. And one of the most important tools that I have used in the last few years has been journaling, and I hope that you will pick it up as well. I will leave the link to everything mentioned in the description box. I hope that you do it. I hope that you start journaling. Let me know what was your favorite spread, and if you tried it out, leave a comment in the comment below and let's talk. Let me know if you have any questions about how to start journaling. I want to help you. Until next video, I'm sending you a lot of love. I hope that you're doing well and that you are consistently working on becoming a better version of yourself to ultimately create your dream life and to create a more purposeful and inspiring life. Until next video, bye for now.